Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bio-MedTech Engineering Talks program. Today we have a guest, Bilgehan Özçil. He received bachelor degree from Başkent University and master degree from Hacettepe University. He's a sales supervisor at Mentor company. Now I will leave you with the audience for your speech, Mr. Özçil. Then I'll forward the questions to you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. Bio-Med Talks, I think, right? So it's an honor to be with you. And today I'm going to talk about myself, my career journey, my education background, and my experiences. So I hope it's help you with your career journey and your life. I don't know. So let's start with my education background. I went to Başkent University Biomedical Engineering. I started that program at 2004, and I graduated from Başkent University 2009. So I wasn't very shiny student, to be honest. But during the university life, I joined some project groups. So it helps me and it guides me in the future. When I look back, I can say that I didn't, that kind of student, but at some point I joined some groups, project groups. So helps me to see. It helped me to expand my vision. So I studied some biomaterials projects. We wrote an article, by the way. So it was still surprise to me. So anyway, I graduated from Başkent University in 2009. Then I started to, I look my options. I think that what I can do, where should I work, etc. So I find a chance to start my company, found a company. It was very tough decision for me, but I put myself into this journey, and I started my company on 2010, I guess, right? I make an agreement with the American manufacturer company, which they are manufacturing orthopedics devices. So we started to sell this device in Turkey. It was 3 years journey, but it's very difficult for me, to be honest, because to be your own, to be the boss, it's very difficult. But I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the devices and the market, selling, etc. So I'm a fresh meat. I was fresh meat in the business. So I try to do something, learn by self. But it is difficult. It was difficult. Yeah, I can say that. But after 3 years, because of some reimbursement issue with the government, the business stopped. So I put myself. I found myself in a tough situation. I have to decide. Should I continue to do to run my business, or should I quit? So I went a walk, in the park. I talked on it a little bit about it. So I decided to quit it because it's not my thing. I decided that it's not what I want to do in the future. So I quit to do my own business. Then I closed the company. Then I went to vacation So after I spent all my money, I come back, and then I look my options in the markets, in the business, biomedical engineering, which should be related with biomedical engineering, because I love my job. I like my what I do, biomedical engineering area, you know. So I look for some jobs. I want some job interviews. So my first interview was American company as well. So but they want to an employee in Ankara, but I want to move to Istanbul. So I reject them. But it was about a device. I mean, Arctic device, Arctic valve. They were a Arctic valve company. So before the interview, of course I studied on it a little bit. I put my own experience on the table, and I studied what they sell, what they do. Anyway, but they wanted to an employee in Ankara, so I don't want to stay in Ankara. So I went to Istanbul. So I saw an open position in Medtronic. So I applied. Then I went to the Medtronic office. They put some open positions on the table. So then the HR manager told me that pick one of your wants, pick one of your feel close, you know. So because there is a lot of options, maybe one of them drive me in a bad way, or one of them is put me a difficult position, etc. You know, there's a lot of unknown question marks. So I saw a position which is also related with the Arctic valve, so which is my first interview with another company, the same product, and they are competitors. So, well, I was ready for this device, you know, because I studied before for other interview. So for the first time, I know the answer of the question, you know. So I applied to that job, and unfortunately, I was accepted. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the other candidates not better than me. I don't know, but they accepted me, hopefully. So I started my journey in Medtronic in 2013 with this job. Let me explain what we were doing on those days. I was working as a technical consultant and a salesperson. What is technical consultancy? It is, the technical consultant person attended cases, guide the physicians about the therapy, about the device, how the physicians do the operation, how they should use the device, etc. Because the company sent us some trainings, so we have trained people, trained employees, but experience is another thing, you know. So knowing is another thing, and experienced something, some therapy, job is another thing, because when you have having a trouble during the surgery, you put your experience on the table and you can solve the problem with your experience. So theoretical experience, theoretical knowledge is another thing. So I worked as a technical consultant about 6 years. I traveled all cities around the country and the other regions like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, I don't know, Qatar, Kazakhstan, etc. We traveled all the regions. We helped them. We helped the other physicians, other foreign physicians to do these cases, to these operations, to help them. We were there. So anyway, I worked as I quit this technical consultancy about 2 years ago. Then I switched my job to as a salesperson. But technical consultancy. Let me explain technical consultancy part a little bit more. So what we are doing as a technical consultancy. Also, we attended cases scrub. So then we prepare the valve, the aortic valve, on the surgery table, and we prepare the valve for the physician to use it. And then during the cases, we guide the physicians, we help them, and we organize the angio laboratory. So it was a very tough job because it's not about selling. It's not about revenue. It's not about making money, because there is a patient, and the patients who we are work on, mostly elderly patients. They are fragile people, and sometimes you put a needle on the skin of the patient, and the pressure drop down. You don't understand why, but it happens because they are, as I said, they are very fragile and they are sick people. Let me explain to the therapy a little bit more. I was working on the transcatheter aortic valve implantation therapy. Transcatheter aortic valve implantation therapy is used on the, as I said, elderly people who has aortic stenosis disease, and mostly our patients about 75 years plus, and they are after they diagnosis by the physician, by the cardiologist, mostly they live 2 or 3 years, because aortic valve is the most important, one of the most important valve in our heart, because it's open when the clean blood from in the left ventricle get into the aorta through the aortic valve. So it is, aortic valve's movements is very crucial for the body, because body feeds the clean blood feed the body, and the cells and the other organs was fed with this clean blood, So because of that, you can imagine that it's a door, and it should be properly open and it should be properly closed. But after some point, after most probably 75 years old, the movements of the valve leaflets is not works properly. So because of that, the clean blood and the oxygen couldn't reach the cells and couldn't feed the body. So what's the conventional therapy of this disease is open heart surgery. Maybe you all know about open heart surgery, or you heard about it somewhere. The surgery, the surgeon open your chest and cut your body and get into your heart, stop your heart, and put your heart to the external circulation tube. So they opened your heart as well, and they cut your aortic valve and put another valve in it and stretch it, and then close the whole the body. Then it's around 2 or 3 hours, and it's a very catastrophic surgery, you know. But what we do is in the TAVI therapy is we get them to do the femoral side, I mean the lower side of the body. We get into the artery with the small catheter, and we go through the aorta and reach the aortic root. Then we open your valve, and we remove the catheter from the body, and that's all. It's around 1 hour, and the patients leave the hospitals, discharged from hospital 1 day or 2 days later, you know. So it's very new and very excellent therapy, I have to say, because after open heart surgery, you have a risk to die, and there is a risk factor. Every patient has a risk factor. If your risk factor is too high, this means that the operations success is low, you know, and your death risk after the surgery. But with TAVI, we minimize the risk and maximize the output. So because of that, it's a very excellent therapy. In Turkey, we are using this therapy, we're using this device around 10 years, for 10 years. That's it. I mean, technical consultancy is technical consultancy job is very related with the patient. I mean, very intense job about patient's life, and stress level is high, etc. But then I switched my job to as a salesperson, and well, there's difficulties on this job as well, but there is no patient's life risks, you know, this stress, but you have only sales risk and stress, you know. So I've been working as a salesperson for 2 years, I guess. So if you look, when I look back, I think my decisions during my career journey. So it's what I do. I mean, sometimes you have no choice, you know. You want to some job interview, you need to have a job. So you pick whatever you have on the table. So, but it's very important. It's very affect your future. This decision affects your future, but it's a little bit about luck. It's sometimes you have to have some vision. You have to see in long-term and short-term outputs of your decision. But I mean, I have to say that the first decision is very crucial, because if you hate your decision, you maybe became very unhappy person. But if you are happy what you're doing, you can work more easily, and you can motivate yourself, etc., and you affect your success on the job. So I have to say it's very important. The first decision is very important. Sometimes people try to earn money. I can understand that, but you should think about long-term, your long-term career, you know. So Well, that's all, I guess. What I can understand, what I can tell you more. I don't know. Do you want to ask something?
Thank you, Mr. Özçil, for your speech. Now, if the viewers have any questions, I'll pass them on to you. First question is, what was your biggest challenge when you started your company?
My biggest challenge is traveling, I guess, because I was waking up on 4 a.m. and I was coming back to home around 10 p.m. and whole week is like this, you know. So, but I liked what I did, so it's not it wasn't difficult for me. To be honest, I didn't know what I earn, what my salary is. I don't know, you know, because I decided that this is a good job and I love it. I want to do it. So rest of time is not important for me. Salary, sleepless nights, and the flights, etc. But it was fun at the beginning, but after some point, it was very exhausting, you know. Yeah. It was very difficult.
There's another question. How do you find the progress of your country in the medical sector compared to the day you started to this job? Do we have enough inventory according to you?
Well, when I started this job, the economical position of the Turkey is much more better than now, because, for example, I was selling this device because this is a export product, so its manufacturer expenses are with dollar, you know. So in the beginning of my job, it is very fair for the company, but now it is 4 times cheaper than when I started the company. So it's very difficult to explain to a global company, because, you know, it's a global company and multinational company, and they are selling these products with between some range, you know. So they don't want to sell their products in lower prices. So year by year, it's became a difficult situation for us, because last 4 years, I guess, we are trying to explain something. Look, Turkey is in the best situation. We have to sell this with this price, etc. So year by year, it became very difficult for us. You know, it was very good. We have good days in the beginning of the business, but now we are struggling.
Oh, yeah. There's another question. Which field of biomedical is the best in Turkey at the moment, or in the world?
Well, in the world and in the Turkey, biomedical engineering concepts are very different. Nowadays, last few years, there's a lot of biomedical engineering in the field. When I graduated from university, when I told my friends I'm a biomedical engineer, okay, don't worry, you can find a job in a bank, you know. So a reputation of this engineering not so high like in the last few years, you know. But in Turkey, I can say that it is more you can be more a salesperson, or technical consultancy. You can work on a technical consultancy. You can work on government side. but R&D side is not so well. It isn't very effective in Turkey. There is no R&D companies too much in Turkey, but the USA side and the European side is much more. Biomedical engineers works on much more R&D side and engineering side, really engineering side. But in Turkey, I can say that we are working on medical companies as a salesperson or technical consultant person. Some of my friends works as a technical service side, you know. So job opportunities like between these areas.
Okay, there is no question left. I think we have come to end this session. Thank you, Mr. Özçil, for your spending valuable time with us. I'd like to thank you, audiences too, for paying attention to this event. That's all for me.
Thank you for inviting me. I hope I explain myself what I do and my vision. So I wish you all the best.